All right. The presence of God in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear God, thank you for a great week, and hopefully for a good weekend. Give you guys time to study. I pray for Seth. I know you're not Seth. Maybe you should be Seth. For that statue. St. John the Baptist to the south lives. He's a Jesus in our hearts for her. Is there things in stack I just don't understand?
It's sort of like like there's some stuff that I didn't understand that I just never got a chance to like.
Do you have Miss Mako?
Yeah.
You should go and ask her for help. She'll help. All right. This is stuck. We're jammed here, so all right, no big deal. Okay. All right. So, and so you don't fail this one too. So let's.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Thanks.
You're the one who said you failed. The other one.
I'm not the one that said I failed. I'm just saying like the grade wasn't what I wanted.
Oh, what do you think it would be?
What I wanted?
No, what do you think it was?
I got like a 70.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Beth.
You passed. Good job.
Good grade.
All right. So the test is 90 points, 30 for the FRQ, 60 for the multiple choice. All right. And there's no redos, and there's no test corrections, and there's no anything else. You got to know the material to do well. All right. And so if I was studying, so it's 1 to 3, I've told you basically that the FRQ is comparative advantage and production possibilities curve. So I go over the 4 practice FRQs we've done, 2 for homework, 2 in class. I think if you know those really solid, you will do well on that. Okay. I would also take the practice test, even though it's a multiple choice test. I took it yesterday, and what I realized is, like, they give you a chart and they say, who has the comparative advantage? A, Brazil. B. So the FRQs can be the same thing. They're just not going to go A, Brazil. You know, so if you do those, that is good practice. Okay. What I'm going to try to do today is pretty much highlight basically what's going to be on the test. There's some things I know I put in that the guys did really bad on last year. So we'll have that. All right. I can tell you the second unit test is going to be hard as hell because I know past history. This is what I'll say about this one. If you know it, you should do well. So if you know the material, and I only say that because supply and demand, the second unit test, I do believe kids knew the material, but the questions are different, sometimes you can know the material and get some wrong on that. I think on this one, if you know the material, then you get the questions right, if that makes sense. The distractors aren't as complicated or confusing. So it'd be a good time. I mean, almost everyone has a good grade because you still have, like, everyone did well on the homework, everyone did well on the summer project. I think this is the first time everyone did the summer project in my 15 years as a teacher, AP. So I guess that's a good point. All right, circular flow. I don't remember is there a question or not, but here's what I do know. I would know total expenditures, which is spending, equals total revenue. Total expenditures equal total revenue. And no firms and households on the opposite, and product and factor. You're not going to have to know how to draw the graph. No one's going to ask you to draw the graph. So that's all I would get to know. Okay. All right. All you need in here is economics defined. It's a social science concerned with efficient use of limited resources. Efficient use of limited resources. to achieve maximum satisfaction. To achieve maximum satisfaction. All right, next up, am I going in order here? What? 12:35? Okay. Scarcity. I'll just go with unlimited wants with limited resources. Unlimited wants with limited resources. And remember, everything is scarce. Unlimited wants with limited resources. Here's my favorite scarcity. I just threw the next slide in because I love it. Just look at that face. That's a fight, right? Ready to happen? Yeah. What did you
No, I like AD, bro.
All right, the three economic questions. What goods and services should be produced? How should they be produced? And who consumes them? Now, every society answers those. The difference is communism, the government answers them, and capitalism, households and firms answer them. And I'll talk about that when we get to the end. Okay, just those are the three economic questions. Trade-offs, all the alternatives. So everything you could do instead of being here is a trade-off. So you probably have 10 things. Right? They're all the alternatives that you give up. Everything you choose. Opportunity cost is the best alternative. So the opportunity cost is the most desirable alternative given up. Yes, sir.
Earlier, you said practice test. Is that like a different thing from like the quiz you took at practice?
Yeah, I should clarify. Under the, I think it says practice test on the topics page. There is literally 40 multiple choice that covers these 3 units. Okay. That I really, really would encourage everyone to take. Now, all of you are going to say that the practice test is a little easier. And one of it is, like I asked about scarcity 3 times. Why? Because if I ask about it 3 times, you're gonna know it. You know what I mean? So I'm drilling you, but I think it's fairly equal in difficulty. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, the invisible hand. All right, all you need is the bottom. Competition and self-interest act as an invisible hand. Competition and self-interest act as an invisible hand. Aiden develops a computer. He makes a lot of money. I see him making a lot of money, so I try to develop a better computer at a lower price. We go back and forth until we have the best quality computer at the lowest possible price. So competition and self-interest act as the invisible hand. Okay, now, these two terms are not the answer to questions, but they're in the questions often. So I put them here so you understand if you see them in the question. Laissez-faire is like hands of government lets the markets alone, hands off business. Ceteris paribus, everything else stays the same. So when we say technology and you're shifting the production possibilities curve, we're saying technology changed, but everything else stayed the same.
So it's not, so are these two terms aren't like opposites of each other, are they?
No, they're just terms that are, what happens are, they're terms that when kids take the test, they don't know what they mean, therefore they don't get the answer right. Because they don't understand the question. Not you call they don't understand the question. You know, the average run-of-the-mill everyday kid. I'll take the test over the weekend, we'll see how we do. All right, micro, households and firms. So micro focuses on households and firms in an industry. Households and firms in an industry. Macro combines all the industries. So in micro, I could look at the demand for steel. In macro, I'm looking for the demand for all products.
What's the definition of macro?
I'd say you're looking at all the industries combined. All right, positive statements are facts. Okay, a positive statement would be you're getting out at 225 today. The normative statement would be because we're trying to give kids a break and let them out early. How do you think they came up with this stupid 225? Someone woke up one day and said, hey, yeah, let's let the kids out early.
Normative statements like can turn out to be facts, correct?
Yeah, but don't even think that way, because they're not. Think of them as more of opinions or value judgments. All right, margin. The margin means yes, KG additional. Good job. And what you need to know is marginal benefit has to be greater or equal to marginal cost. That marginal benefit has to be greater or equal to marginal cost. So I'm not going to buy the additional unit unless my marginal benefit, which is, by the way, the demand curve, that's not on this test, is greater or equal to the marginal cost, which here is kind of the supply curve. Okay. The four factors of production. Land, natural resources. Okay. Capital, factories, tools, machinery. Laborers, workers, entrepreneurs, people who start businesses, bring products to the market. So land, labor, capital, entrepreneurs. Is money a factor?
No.
No. Is oil a factor?
Yes.
Yes. Is production a factor? No. All right, here we go. Production possibilities curve. 13 multiple choice. Maybe an effort. Sorry, keep that picture. Okay, here we go. A, B, C, D, and E. All are efficient. Means we're maximizing our resources. anything inside the curve, inefficient. Anything outside the curve, unattainable with present day resources. Now, they can ask you, does the production possibilities curve A, show trade-offs? Yes, right? If I'm making more computers, I make less spikes. B, opportunity costs, yes, I just said that. C, efficiency, yeah. D, all of the above. So no, this shows trade-offs, opportunity costs, efficiency, scarcity. Sounds like a good question. Maybe I'll throw that in there. All right, there's the opportunity cost. If I go from A to B, I make 2 computers. How many bytes am I giving up? 2. Okay. Now let's just try. What's the next one? B to D. So I'm making 3 computers. It's 5 to 3 computers, right? No, 4, 2 to 6, right? 2 to 6. How many? Yeah. Right. All right, we're going from 12 to 5 bucks, so we're giving up 7 bucks. All right, that didn't go that well. All right. Constant opportunity cost, because resources are not easily adaptable.
I thought it was that.
I thought you were asleep. Good job. Resources are easily adaptable. So it's a straight line. Increasing opportunity cost. Bowed out curve. Resources are not easily adaptable. Okay. Here are the 4 shifters. 1, I know it says 3 on your paper because last year I teach 3. This year I'm putting in the 4. Change in resource quantity or quality. Change in technology. Change in human resources. Change in capital stock. Remember, capital stock is like capital, it's machines, tools, factories. All right, 2 types of efficiency. One is productively efficient. That's producing at the least cost. That's everything on the production possibilities curve. So that's productively efficient. The second is allocative efficiency. Okay. That's products are being produced are ones most desired by society. Anderson, are you memorizing all this?
Remember the first page, but don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about the other pages?
Well, I mean, I know the other stuff.
You know it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So when you leave the test, you're not gonna be going to your next class going, oh, I can't tell you what I got on this.
Nah.
Okay. Okay. All right. This is just to remind you that if you want economic growth, that you want to invest more in capital goods. Okay, I didn't give you a spot, but, and anytime the curve shifts out, it's economic growth. Okay? Yes. All right. How do I graph this?
Dot inside.
Dot inside, okay? So unemployment, recession inside, if it's fixed, it just goes outside. Decrease in the demand for pizza.
Say like 2 dots on a line and an arrow.
Yeah, it's not a shifter. So you just got to slot. These are things the guys got wrong last year. Technology improvement in ovens.
The lower half of it would shift outward.
Yes. And that's economic growth. Okay? All right. All right, international trade. An absolute advantage. The producer who can produce the most output. The producer that can produce the most output or use the least inputs. Most outputs, least inputs. Okay, now, what's in this box determines is it an input or an output question. So if we're saying it takes 40 minutes to make a dozen donuts, input. If we're saying it takes 10 acres to grow a bushel of corn, input. If we're saying 40 workers, input. However, if we flip it and we say 40 bushels of corn, output, 40 donuts, output, 40 cars, output. So it's what's getting measured in these boxes that determine is it an input or an output. If you do not know, treat it like an output. There's 9 out of 10 of the questions alone. Now, when there is an input on it, I think guys get it wrong a lot for 2 reasons. One, it's output question out, and you get into that habit. So read carefully, okay? Especially on the FRQ, because I think the FRQ, you will not be time pressured at all.
Can you give us a few more examples of inputs besides the time?
I mean, the ones they use the most are time, workers, and land, like acres.
You said it land?
Acres, because they do like corn, bushels. I would say if you know those 3, because like, I don't want to say sugar is an input for donut, but sugar by itself could also be an output. And that's why they don't like to use those type, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because those get confusing. So I really think if you got hours, acres, and workers, you're probably in good shape. All right. Could you have the absolute advantage for both? Yes. Could you have the comparative advantage for both? No. All right, that's the producer with the lowest opportunity cost. You always specialize with the lowest opportunity cost. You're walking like you're 95 years old. Huh? Yeah, I have knees too. All right. Countries should trade. They should specialize in the lowest opportunity cost, and that's what they're going to trade. They're going to export the lowest opportunity cost. Okay? All right. I just wanted to go over a trade. All right, so whenever they're trying to give you, is it a good trade? And the first thing I do, other over, so that's one, other over, that's two. So I know the United States, right? They're gonna be wheat and they're gonna be sugar. Then I do the opportunity cost, 30 to 30, that's 1 to 1, 10 to 20 is 1 to 2. All right. If the United States is going to trade wheat, before they trade, they gave up a wheat, they could get a sugar. They got to get more than one sugar for a good trade. Brazil, if they're going to trade sugar, without a trade, they give up 2 sugars for 1 wheat, they got to give up less. A good trade for both has to get in between them, which would be 1.5. Now, let's say it's 1 wheat for 4 sugars. Is that good for the United States? Yes, because they usually get 1 for 1, right? So it's good for, is that good for Brazil to give up 4 sugars for 1 wheat? No, because they usually give up 2. So this one would be good for the United States, bad for Brazil.
What do you mean by like 1.5?
So if they said, for 1 wheat, you give up 1.5 sugars, 1.5 pounds of sugar. So that'd be good for the United States, right? Because they usually only get 1. And then it'd be good for Brazil because they usually give up 2 without trade. Okay? Thank you for asking. Because that, without a doubt, no questions asked will be on the test.
Can you just real quick run back, like when
Say, Paul, could you just start again? I didn't hear.
can you just run it back and like when you use other under and other open, other open?
Yeah. If it's how much wheat, how much sugar, which this is, that's other over output. If it's how many acres or how many workers to get a pound of sugar, that's an input. Okay. Thank you for asking. Okay. All right. A communism. If you just think government decides everything, government owns the resources and they decide what to make.
Wait, that's not.
Huh?
Communism world.
Okay.
No, man.
Yeah. I didn't have a spot, but didn't I leave you just some blank lines? Okay. While you're in the bathroom, I gave them the answers to the first 2 questions.
Okay.
Okay, it's holding down. Guess you're not really voice. All right, and then last thing, capitalism, little government involvement. That's laissez-faire, by the way. All right, we got plenty of time, guys. Individuals own resources and answer the 3 economic questions. Profit gives you incentive. You know this, you'll be fine for this. I want to ask before we leave, is there anything anyone feels might give them problems on the test? If they want to ask.
I know Colin just asked us for like, can you just repeat the IOU and
Yeah.
input?
IOU is input other under. Okay. And then OO is output other over. Did you get that?
Other over, right?
Output other over, input other under.
Use on the circular flow chart, the arrows work, because I was getting some of those wrong.
I think really for the test, all you really need about the circular flow is that total spending or expenditures equal total revenue, and know the boxes are opposite each other, like product and factor, households and firms. I don't think they're gonna ask you the transaction questions like the quiz.
Okay.
Anything else? And by the way, if they ask one of those, you can cuss at me under your breath. All right. Have a great day. Oh, yeah. Well, have a good one. And it's Friday. Yeah, good point, good point.
I know, like, I'm gonna over.
Did you say you don't understand the output other under? Okay, that's fine. I thought I heard that.
I was just saying, like, I understand that, do that, like, I'm confident with it, but like, you got 1.5, like, really fast. Like, when you know, when you found, like, the trade.
Did you see how I did found the drawing?
Yeah, I understand you're 1 to 1 and 1 to 2.
It's always in, yeah.
Okay, it's just always in the.
And yeah, and you're gonna see that more on an FRQ than multiple choice. And I really think you're gonna feel like you have a lot of time on FRQ. So a lot of time.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Have a good day.
See, I'm gonna come back to come out just with them.
Not you. Oh, no. Yeah, of course.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Did you do the practice test by any
I
chance?
haven't done it yet, but I have pre-8, so I
Okay.
plan on doing it
Do
before.
it as much and at least print it out, so when we go over it, you'll have, well, you can have it on your computer.
Yeah, I'm gonna print it out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
We can practice this.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you what that is.
Oh, I got it.
You guys have been early to school? You don't?
Not really.
You got. If you do, you know there's an answer, you don't know what, you got it wrong. Even if something's not right, if you don't understand, then we can drill down. You'll both understand. You try to. Not you. I think it's okay. Or.
What was the FRQs on this, Professor? Production possibility curve and what?
It could be on production possibilities curve or comparative advantage.
And it's just one FRQ?
Yeah. Yes. And it'll be about 15 minutes.